Years and years I rambled, drank my wine and gambled. Then I thought that I would settle down. I met the perfect lady, said she'd be my baby. Built a cottage down in the old hometown. But I can't give up good old rough and rowdy ways. And those railroad trains are calling me away. I may be rough and I may be wild, I may be tough, but that's just my style. No, I can't give up good old rough and rowdy ways. Well, sometimes I meet around her, knew me when I was a bounder. Grabs my arm and he says, boy, have a drink. Yeah, we go down to the pool room, get in the game, and then soon sun's come up and I haven't slept a wink. No, I can't give up my good old rough and rowdy ways. As railroad trains are calling me away. I may be rough and I may be wild, I may be tough, and that's just my style. I can't give up good old rough and rowdy way. All right, Jimmie Rodgers, Rough and Rowdy Ways. And if you're a Jimmie Rodgers purist, you're going to say, that's not the way he did on the record. I know that. It's been done, hundreds of times, at least dozens of times by hundreds of artists. My version's probably more based on Doc Watson's than anybody else because I grew up following Doc Watson around. Of course, Doc played that one with a pick, and I'm doing it fingerstyle because that's the point of this channel. This is one that very few people can agree on the chords or the lyrics. Okay, in the original old Jimmie Rodgers songbook released in the 20s, that was obviously not put together by him. I doubt he could read music at all. It was probably put together by a piano player. They had really odd chords in there, like a G7 with a sharp 5. So, I mean, you go like, and I can see that, but he didn't play that. They had a lot of diminished chords kind of moving around in there between the verses. Like, I don't know. No way he did that. Okay, Jimmie Rodgers was not that sophisticated a guitar player. You can absolutely do that if you want. If you want to fancy it up, go for it. That's up to you. Lyrics are often very different. People can't decide on, are the railroad trains calling me away or are they calling me always? And then there's this, when he did it originally on the record, somehow I can't give up my good old rough and rowdy ways. And then sometimes people change keys. One of my favorite versions, and actually the one that I really like the chord progression on the most, was done by Chris Hillman of the Byrds when he was doing his bluegrass band, I guess, in the 70s? And they played in the key of D. So Rodgers originally did it in C. That's where I'm playing it, is in C. And all these chords we've worked with before, but I know this may be the first time you've seen one of my lessons, so I'm going to go through them. First of all, I did this little... Why did I do that? Well, Roy Smeck, the great Roy Smeck, recorded on a lot of Jimmie Rodgers records. He was a Hawaiian lap steel player that really predated, lap steel, pedal steel, electrified steel in country music. It was bluesy. Jimmie Rodgers' music is as much blues as Mississippi John Hurt's music is, and as much country. I mean, you know, these are two sides of the same coin, and that's why I like to kind of alternate them when I'm doing the lessons. Roy Smeck, you may know as the guy that did the music for all the Looney Tunes cartoons. They called him the Wizard of the Strings. He could play like 15 instruments, and he was a vaudeville guy, and he did in one show. He'd keep them all around. He'd grab his ukulele and he'd be playing like that. He'd grab his harmonica and flip it into his mouth and out, and I mean, he was just amazing. Phenomenal guitar player, phenomenal banjo player, mandolin player, uke player, lap steel player. I don't even know how many instruments Roy Smeck played. There is a fantastic documentary on him on YouTube. It's only about 15 minutes long. It's called Roy Smeck, the Wizard of the Strings. Dude was mind-blowing, but he played that lap steel, and that's just a little tribute. That's my little tribute to Roy Smeck for the day, who was one of my all-time heroes. Roy Smeck also had a signature guitar named after him. If you can ever find an old Roy Smeck guitar, I believe Gibson made them. Very, very collectible. I think some banjos. Anyway, just phenomenal character and incredible genius of a musician. But anyway, let's get back to the tune. So I do that little intro. And that's just, what? First finger, second string, third fret. I don't know. Next finger that feels comfortable. I'm using my ring finger. First string, fifth fret, and just walk it down. Let's see. That's not right. I had offered. There we go. I had them reversed. Okay. So let's change that. Second string, fifth fret. First string, third fret. There we go. To a C chord, G chord. Set you up. Alright. So now we're just like kind of pattern picking through the progression to F, C, G7, back to C, F, D, G. You can do the major to the 7, that always sounds good. And then back to C. 7, C7, F. Let's see. Well, yeah, we go F and then to D. G7, C7, F, F7, C, D, G, C. Standard progression with a D thrown in there. And it does sound better, I think, as a D major. You could certainly try it with a D7. You could try it with a D minor if you want to. I think it's a very definitely that D chord you could play really any way you want to, because I mean the standard progression is what we call the 2-5-1. You know, C, if C's the first note of the scale, D's the second note of the scale, and G7's the fifth. So we're going C, D, G, or I'm sorry, D, G, C, 2-5-1, D, G, C, and normally that is played as a minor. But in this tune it doesn't really matter, and because it's bluesy, a 7 certainly works in there, or play it major, because it's, I don't know, it's got a nice tone to it as well. However you like it, okay? And then we get up to the break, and I'm using the old blues A chord, slid up to a C position, and just bouncing my pinky finger here off the second string on the, what is that, 8th fret? Just bar across. It's a C6 chord essentially. F, that's the C chord moved up here, so we play it this way. Back to C. G. C. Let's see, I'll put that up. Good in time. And this time we're going to go here. And what is that chord? That's A, B, C, D. That's our D out of a standard old Melba shaped A chord, right? So. And now we play C out of an F shape. You know your F chord. Slide all the way up here. To the D. G7 played in this position. We played this chord before in other songs as a D7, so we're moving D, E, F, G. Back to C, C7. Oh, what chord comes next? F7, that same shape again here. And I'm just going to do F diminished, back F. C. Let's see. And let's play a D7 like this. Okay, I'm just going to take a few times through, but it's not too hard. Let's see. Yes, I like to go from that G7 to 6 to the G major. So back to C, and then we'll finish with that little turnaround again. All right, that's it. Y'all have fun with it. Let me know if you got any questions. Email me, judson@judsoncarroll.com. Leave a question or comment in the question and comment section. I will get right back with you. And yeah, are these old tunes fun to play? Play around with this one. You come up with all kinds of good stuff. Have a good one. Talk to you next time.